The lab glows with purple light filtering through crystal windows. High-tech equipment hums softly. Nick Reyes, 30s, scruffy, human, adjusts a holographic display showing a swirling blue molecule. Lady Laria Zvithera, 20s, tall, violet-skinned, regal Varian, stands nearby, her silver hair in perfect braids. Nick, grinning, finally finished it. Prototype GH7. Universal Regeneration Elixir, human and Varian compatible. Laria, coolly, impressive, Technician Reyes. If it works. We need counsel. Approval for testing. Nick, always so formal. Laria. Call me Nick. And relax, we'll wow them at the reception tonight. Laria, raises eyebrow, this is science, not a performance. And Varian etiquette does not relax. A chime sounds. Laria adjusts her robe, preparing to leave. Nick, see you there. Try not to drink anything weird, okay? Laria exits, leaving Nick chuckling as he seals the blue vial in a container labeled human use only. Grand Hall, night. The hall sparkles with crystal chandeliers. Varian officials in shimmering robes mingle with human diplomats. Nick, in a tight formal uniform, spots Laria across the room in a stunning silver blue gown. Nick, to himself, she cleans up nice. Too bad she's all ice. He grabs a drink from a server and heads toward her. Laria holds an iridescent blue vial, raising it in a toast with others. Nick, panicked. Laria, wait, too late. Laria downs the vial in one elegant sip. Nick freezes, horrified. Laria, noticing his stare, what's wrong, technician? Reyes, Nick, that drink. What was it? Laria, a ceremonial beverage. Why, Nick, forcing a smile, just curious. Varian customs, you know. He spends the night watching her, tense. Laria remains poised, showing no signs of change, yet. Science lab, morning. Nick works frantically at his console when the door slams open. Laria storms in, disheveled, her robe straining across her chest, her figure noticeably enhanced. Laria, whispering, flustered, your elixir. It worked. Too well. Nick stares, jaw dropping. Then quickly looks away. Nick, wow. Okay. That's unexpected. Laria, blushing purple, my proportions have altered. And they're sensitive. Fix this, now, Nick, I'll try. But we need tests. Laria, no tests. No records. No one can know. The door slides open. Thalor, 60s, stern Varian, Laria's uncle, enters, eyeing Laria's changed form with disgust. Thalor, what is this disgrace? Niece, Nick, jumping in, an accident, sir. My fault. Thalor, coldly, under Varian law, section 42, an outsider who alters a noblewoman's body is bound to her. You, human, are now her protector. Her fiancé, Laria, panicked, uncle, that law is ancient. Thalor, it stands. The council will hear of this. He exits. Nick and Laria stare at each other, stunned. Nick, did he just say we're engaged? Laria, sinking into a chair, this is a disaster. Science lab, days later. Nick and Laria work side by side, running simulations. Laria winces as she moves, her sensitivity obvious. Nick, we're close. This antidote should reverse it. Laria, softly, good. I can't keep blushing like this. It's undignified. Nick grins, enjoying her rare vulnerability. The door opens. ZTHR, 50s, rigid Varian, cultural overseer, enters. ZTHR, the council demands your presence at a binding ceremony tomorrow. Tradition must be upheld. Nick, we're kinda busy fixing this. ZTHR, tradition does not wait. He leaves. Nick groans. Nick, great. Now we're starring in a Varian soap opera. Grand Hall, night. The binding ceremony. Nick and Laria Stand on a platform, surrounded by whispering Varians. Thalor presides. Thalor, by Section 42, Nicholas Reyes is bound to Lady Laria Zephyra until the alteration is undone, or death parts them. Nick mutters to Laria, Nick, romantic, huh? Laria flushes purple but says nothing. The crowd stares at her enhanced figure, murmuring. Science lab, night, Nick and Laria return, exhausted. Nick checks the antidote simulation. Nick, it's ready tomorrow. We'll fix this. Laria hesitates, then speaks quietly. Laria, what if? I don't want it fixed. Nick, surprised, what do you mean? Laria, the elixir didn't just change my body. It woke me up. I feel things, joy, anger, even you. I don't want to lose that. Nick steps closer, heart pounding. Nick, you're saying you like feeling even with me? Laria nods, blushing deeply. Suddenly, alarms blare, containment breach detected. The lab locks down. Nick, this isn't random. Someone's sabotaging us. Science lab, hours later. Smoke fills the room as equipment sparks. A ceiling panel falls. Laria shields Nick, taking the hit. She grimaces but stays strong. Nick, awed, you saved me. Why? Laria, because I care. More than a Varian noble should. The doors open. Thalor and guards enter. Thalor, enough. The council orders your deportation, human. And Laria, purification at dawn. A neural reset. Laria, horrified, that'll erase me, my emotions, my memories. Nick, furious, you can't do this. Guards drag Nick away as Laria watches, helpless. Detention cell, night. Nick paces, furious. The door opens. Kira, 20s, Laria's bold sister, slips in. Kira, Laria's refusing the procedure. They've locked her up. I'm breaking you out. Nick, why help me? Kira, because she loves you, idiot. And I hate our stupid traditions. Move. Zevithera estate, night. Nick and Kira sneak past drones. Kira opens a gap in the energy field. Kira, she's in the east wing. You've got 20 minutes before Thalor's team arrives. Nick nods and slips inside. East wing, night. Nick finds Laria arguing with Lady Zevithera, 50s, stern, her mother. Lady Zevithera, this defiance ends now. Laria, no, mother. I choose to feel, to live. Nick bursts in. Nick, couldn't have said it better. Lady Zevithera, guards. Nick, too late. Kira's got them busy. Laria grabs Nick's hand, trembling with sensation. Laria, let's go. They run, Kira joining them at a transport. Northern Mountains, dawn. The transport lands at a rebel cave. Laria and Nick step out. Nick, safe, for now. Laria, smiling, with you, I feel safe. Anywhere. She kisses him, her skin glowing softly. Nick laughs. Nick, glow-in-the-dark girlfriend. Nice bonus. Council chamber, day. Nick and Laria face the council, Thalor glaring. Holograms show Laria's scans. Laria, your tradition stole our emotions with genetics. The elixir proved it. We deserve choice. Nick, you've built a lie. Let it crumble, or we'll break it for you. Kira and reformers cheer. The council murmurs, then VTHI, 80s, leader, speaks. VTHI, will consider reform. The binding stands, if you wish. Nick, grinning, taking Laria's hand. Oh, we wish. Laria blushes, glowing faintly. The crowd roars. Cultural center balcony, sunset. Nick and Laria watch the purple sunset, arms around each other. Nick, regrets. Laria, none. You enlarged more than my perspective. Nick laughs, pulling her close. Nick, best accident ever. They kiss, her glow lighting the night. Below, Varians cheer, a new era begins. Cultural center balcony, dusk, continued. The violet suns bleed into the horizon. casting jagged shadows across the crystalline spires below. Nick Reyes, 30s, human, rugged, stands with Lady Laria Zevithera, 20s, violet-skinned, glowing faintly, her warmth pressed against him. Her glow pulses softly, a living secret beneath her skin, her golden-green eyes distant, as if listening to something far away. Nick, soft, probing, you're still hearing them, aren't you? The voices, Laria. Yes. Louder now. They hum through me, old Varians, before the silence. They're angry, Nick. Something's waking with them. Nick tightens his grip on her hand, her glow flaring briefly at his touch, casting faint light across his face. Nick, whatever it is, we'll face it. Together, a low rumble shakes the balcony, subtle but unnatural. Laria's glow flickers wildly, her breath catching. Laria, alarmed, it's not just in me. It's out there. The shadows below twist, stretching longer than they should. A faint, eerie hum rises from the city, unnoticed by the crowd still dispersing from the council session. Cultural Center, Research Chamber, night. The chamber is dim, lit only by the violet glow seeping through crystal walls and the pulsing blue of Nick's equipment. Laria sits on a table, her robe parted slightly as Nick scans her with a handheld device. Her glow intensifies, veins of light threading beneath her skin. Nick, muttering, your readings are off the charts. The elixir's rewriting you. Faster now, Laria, voice trembling, it's more than that. The voices. They're not just memories. They're calling something. I see flashes, cities burning, skies splitting. Before the nobles locked us away, Nick lowers the scanner, his face shadowed, uneasy. Nick, locked you away. You mean the genetic stuff? Laria, nodding, they didn't just silence us, Nick. They buried something. Alive. Deep under Vera Prime. The elixir, it's a key. A sharp tremor rocks the chamber. Equipment rattles. Laria clutches her chest, her glow surging, illuminating the room in a sudden, blinding flash. Nick, grabbing her. Laria. Stay with me, Laria, gasping, it's close. It knows I'm here. The door hisses open. Kira, 20s, fierce, silver-haired, rushes in, eyes wide. Kira, the council's sealed the city. Tremors everywhere. They're blaming you, both of you. Nick, grim, they're scared of what's waking up. Kira glances at Laria, her glow now steady, brighter, like a beacon. Kira, whatever it is. It's tied to her. Vera Prime, city outskirts, night. The violet forest looms, its crystal trees glinting under twin moons. Nick, Laria, and Kira move swiftly through the shadows, a stolen transport hovering behind them. Laria's glow pulses with each step, lighting their path, and betraying their position. Nick, whispering, we need to get underground. If something's buried, that's where the answers are. Laria, distant, I feel it. Pulling me. Below the old ruins, Kira points ahead, a crumbling archway half hidden by vines, its crystal etched with faded runes. Kira, the forbidden vault. Sealed for centuries. The elders forbade us to even speak of it. A drone whirs overhead, its red light sweeping. Nick pulls Laria down, her glow dimming under his touch. Nick, they're hunting us. Move. They slip into the archway, the darkness swallowing them whole. Forbidden vault, deep underground. The vault is a vast, echoing chamber, its walls alive with glowing runes that pulse in sync with Laria's light. Ancient machines lie dormant, their shapes twisted, wrong. A massive crystal pillar dominates the center, cracked, leaking a faint blue mist, the same hue as the elixir. Nick, awed, this is where it came from. Laria, voice hollow, not came from. Was trapped. The voices, they're here. She steps toward the pillar, her glow sinking with its rhythm. The mist swirls, forming shapes, spectral variants, their eyes burning with rage. Kira, whispering, what are they? Laria, tranced, the first ones. Before the nobles. Remade us. They felt everything, love, fury, pain. The council feared them. Locked them in this crystal. Changed our blood to forget them, the runes flare. A deep voice echoes from the pillar, ancient and wrathful, voice of the first, booming, you bear our essence, child. The elixir freed us. Through you, Nick steps forward, protective. Nick, freed you for what? Voice of the first, to reclaim what was stolen. To feel again. To break the silence, the ground trembles violently. Crack spiderweb across. The pillar, Kira, panicked, it's waking, whatever they buried. Forbidden vault, moments later, the pillar shatters, blue mist flooding the chamber. A shape emerges, tall, Varian-like, but warped, its violet skin molten, its eyes blazing white. The first one, alive, freed, first one, voice like thunder, we are the truth they feared. Emotion unbound, Laria staggers, her glow surging, linking her to it. Nick grabs her arm, Nick, Laria, fight it, this thing's using you, Laria, struggling, it's part of me now. I can't stop it, the first one turns, its gaze searing. The chamber shakes as more cracks split the walls, first one, the noble's lie ends tonight. Vera Prime will feel again, or burn. Kira pulls a device from her pack, its light flickering, Kira, we can seal it back, shut this down, Nick, to Laria, you're the key. Can you hold it? Laria nods, her glow flaring brighter, her voice steady despite the strain, Laria, I'll try. For us. Vera Prime, city surface, night the city trembles, buildings cracking as blue mist seeps from the ground. Thalor, 60s, gaunt, and ZTHR, 50s, skeletal, lead a squad of guards, their faces pale with dread. Thalor, snarling, the human unleashed this. Find them, end it, a massive tremor splits the street. The first one rises, towering, its molten form radiating fury. Citizens scream, fleeing, ZTHR, whispering, the first ones. It's true. Forbidden vault, same time, Nick and Kira rig the device, a containment pulse, around the shattered pillar. Laria stands before the first one, her glow clashing with its light, holding it back, Laria, pleading, you're free in me. You don't need to destroy, teach us instead, first one, roaring, they stole our world, Nick, shouting, Laria, now, she thrusts her hands forward, her glow exploding in a wave. The first one falters, its form wavering. Kira activates the device, a pulse of white light engulfs the chamber, pulling the mist back into the pillar. Kira, it's working, the first one collapses, its essence sinking into Laria. She screams, her glow dimming, then steadies, brighter, purer. Vera Prime, city square, dawn, the tremors stop. The mist fades. Nick, Laria, and Kira emerge, battered but alive. Laria's glow is soft now, a quiet pulse. Thalor and ZTHR approach, guards hesitating, Thalor, cold, you've doomed us all, Laria, firm, no. I've saved us. The first ones live in me, not to destroy, but to heal. Your silence ends, her glow flares briefly, a chorus of ancient voices humming through the air. The crowd gasps, some kneeling, others staring in awe, Nick, to Thalor, she's the truth you couldn't kill. Deal with it, VTHI, 80s, ancient, steps forward, his eyes heavy with realization, VTHI, the past speaks through her. We'll listen. Or fall. Cultural Center, rooftop, day, the twin suns rise, bathing Vera Prime in violet light. Nick and Laria stand alone, her glow a steady rhythm against his chest. Nick, you okay? After that, Laria, soft, they're quiet now. Part of me. I feel whole. She touches his face, her glow warming his skin. Nick, grinning, whole's good. Glowing's better, her laugh echoes, a sound alien yet alive, as the city below stirs with a new, uncertain dawn. Cultural Center, rooftop, day, continued, the twin suns climb higher, their violet light glinting off the crystalline city below. Nick Reyes, 30s, human, weathered, leans against the railing, watching Lady Laria Zvithera, 20s, violet-skinned, glowing softly, as she stands at the edge, her silver hair fluttering in the breeze. Her glow pulses gently, a living echo of the first ones now bound within her. The air hums faintly, charged with something unseen. Nick, quiet, curious, they're really part of you now, huh? No more fighting, Laria, voice distant, not fighting. Resting. But they whisper still. Secrets. Deeper than I thought. About the ground beneath us, she presses a hand to her chest, her glow flaring briefly, casting strange shadows that twist and fade. Nick steps closer, unease creeping into his voice. Nick, the vault wasn't the end, was it? There's more down there. Laria turns, her golden green eyes glinting with a flicker of something ancient, not entirely her own. Laria, whispering, the first ones weren't alone. Something else was buried with them. Something they feared. A sharp, unnatural wind cuts through, rattling the crystal spires. The hum grows louder, rising from the city's depths. Nick grabs her arm, steadying her as her glow stutters. Nick, we need to know what we're dealing with before it finds us. Cultural Center, archive room, day. The room is a shadowed maze of holographic records and dusty crystal tablets, lit by the faint violet glow seeping through high windows. Nick, Laria, and Kira, 20s, fierce, silver-haired, pore over ancient data, their faces tense. Laria's glow casts eerie light across the tablets, illuminating runes that shimmer and shift. Kira, pointing, these logs, pre-noble era. Before the silence. They sealed the vault, but there's a second chamber mentioned. The hollow core. Nick, frowning, what's in it? Laria, reading, voice low, the devourer of light. A force the first ones fought. And lost to. They trapped it, but couldn't kill it. Her glow dims, then surges, as if reacting. She clutches the table, breathing hard. Nick, alarmed. Laria, gasping, it's stirring. The elixir. It didn't just wake the first ones. It's reaching deeper. A tremor shakes the room, faint but growing. Dust falls from the ceiling. Kira pulls up a hologram, a map of Vera Prime's crust, a dark void pulsing beneath the city. Kira, the hollow core. It's real. And it's cracking open. Vera Prime, crystal plains, day, the plains stretch wide, a shimmering expanse of violet crystal under a darkening sky. Nick, Laria, and Kira speed across it in a transport, heading toward a jagged rift in the distance, blue mist seeping from its depths. Laria's glow pulses faster, her skin flushing deeper purple. Nick, shouting over wind, if this devourer's waking, we stop it. Now, Laria, voice trembling, I feel it. Cold. Hungry. It hates the light in me. Kira grips the controls, her face grim. Kira, the nobles knew. That's why they silenced us, to keep it asleep. The rift looms closer, its edges glowing faintly with the same blue as the elixir. Shadows twist within, unnatural and alive. Hollow core, deep underground, the chamber is vast, a black abyss carved into the planet's heart. Crystal shards float in midair, glowing faintly, as if resisting the dark. At the center, a massive, pulsing void swirls, the devourer of light, a shapeless mass of shadow and blue mist, its edges fraying into tendrils. Nick, Laria, and Kira enter, there. Footsteps echoing. Nick, awed, what the hell is that? Laria, whispering, their enemy. Ours now. It feeds on life, on feeling. The first ones locked it here, gave up everything to hold it. The devourer shifts, tendrils lashing out. Laria's glow flares, pushing them back, but she staggers, pain crossing her face. Kira, pulling a device, we can seal it, reinforce the crystal. But it's fighting her. Nick, to Laria, you're connected to it, aren't you? Through the elixir, Laria, nodding, it senses the first ones in me. Wants them back, the Devourer's voice rumbles, low, guttural hiss that shakes the chamber, Devourer, echoing, light. Give me your light, its tendrils surge, wrapping around Laria. Her glow dims as it pulls, her scream piercing the dark, Nick, lunging, Laria, he grabs her, yanking her free. Her glow steadies, but the Devourer grows, the chamber cracking. Hollow core, moments later, Nick and Kira drag Laria to a crystal console, its runes pulsing faintly. The Devourer swells. Tendrils clawing at the walls. Laria's glow flickers, her strength fading, Kira, frantic, the seal's weakening, we need to charge it, Nick, to Laria, your light, it stopped it before. Can you do it again, Laria, weak, it'll take all of me. The first ones, they're willing, Nick, firm, not all of you. We're in this together. He grips her hand, her glow surging at his touch. The Devourer roars, tendrils slashing closer, Laria, whispering, together, she closes her eyes, her glow exploding in a blinding wave. The first one's voices rise, a chorus of defiance, channeling through her into the console. The runes flare, white light pulsing outward, Kira, shouting, it's working, hold it, the light slams into the Devourer, forcing it back. The void shrinks, tendrils dissolving, until it's trapped once more, a faint shadow in the crystal. Crystal plains, dawn, the rift seals, blue mist fading into the ground. Nick and Kira support Laria as they emerge, her glow dim but steady. The city looms in the distance. Quiet now. Thalor, 60s, gaunt, and ZTHR, 50s, skeletal, approach with guards, their faces pale, Thalor, snarling, you've meddled too far, human, Laria, soft, firm, no. We've saved you. The Devourer, it's what you feared. The silence was to starve it. But it almost ate us all, her glow pulses, the first one's presence faint but undeniable. VTHI, 80s, ancient, steps forward, his voice heavy, VTHI, the truth grows darker still. You've bound it again. At what cost? Nick, grinning, her light. And a little human stubbornness, Kira steps up, defiant, Kira, the nobles hid this, risked everything to keep power. No more lies, the crowd murmurs, some nodding, others staring at Laria's glow with awe. Cultural Center, Observation Dome, night, the dome arches high, stars glinting through crystal panes. Nick and Laria stand alone, her glow a soft rhythm against the dark. She leans into him, her warmth real, alive, Nick, you're still you. After all that, Laria, quiet, more than I was. The first ones. They're with me, but I'm still Laria. And something else. Because of you, her glow flares gently, tracing her violet skin. Nick brushes her cheek, her flush deepening, Nick, teasing, my glowing mystery girl. What's next, Laria, whispering, the nobles won't stop. The Devourer's sealed. But its echo lingers. Down there. Waiting, the hum rises again, faint, from the depths. Her glow pulses in time, a silent warning in the night.